Is your English Bulldog pulling on the lead all the time and you're not really sure what to do about it? Well, don't worry, we've got the video for you. Welcome back to the Fenrir English Bulldog Show. My name's Joe and I'm a certified canine leader here at FenrirCanineLeaders.com. We are dedicated to helping you learn everything you could possibly want to know about the English Bulldog, then how to become a high-level canine leader so you can raise your very own. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a future upload. Now, we all know the English Bulldog is very lovable. However, if they are pulling on the lead, that can be a really serious issue and you don't want to have that issue. So today we're going to be tuning into a webinar that canine behaviorist and founder of FenrirCanineLeaders.com, Will, has recorded all about dogs that are pulling on the lead and how to deal with that situation. So over to you, Will.
So here we go, another quick fire webinar that I like to do with you guys around dogs that pull on walks. Now it's up there. It's definitely in the top 3, maybe top 5 of most common concerns, queries, questions that I get as a canine behaviorist, and when people are coming and looking at wanting behavior modification, is how frustrating it is to have a dog that pulls on walks. So in this video I want to just go off the cuff and give you a quick breakdown of my thoughts and theories and approach when it comes to people having dogs that pull on walks. Now, for me, I always, and it's kind of the theory behind why we started on YouTube, and it's now 95% of the effort that we put in is around early education with owners. Getting in before problems arise, in my opinion, is the most important thing that we can bring to the canine community, which is why in our Perfect Puppy course, we so heavily focus on getting heel working right from day one and making it an absolute priority. Having a little puppy that bounces around all over the place on a lead might seem cute, but as soon as those first few months of that cute puppyhood nature wears off and the novelty of having a puppy wears off and you're getting a little bit frustrated about just how hard work it is, and especially if you've got a large powerful breed, it then becomes absolutely miserable. And I have got countless cases of people that have been pulled over by their dogs, have been literally dragged down the street by their dogs. These large powerful breeds, people get them, they don't get the heel work right in the first place, then these significant problems come in, and a lot of dogs get given up to shelters because of this problem. So again, if you're looking at becoming working in the field of a trainer or a behaviorist, I highly suggest that you put a lot of emphasis on helping people that you work with get it right first time round. Now, if you're an owner and watching this, and maybe you're getting a new dog and you're preemptively watching all of these videos to try and learn as much as you can, I absolutely commend you, because you are in a wonderful position now to get it right first time round, and that is what I highly suggest. And like I say, that's such a huge part of what we're trying to achieve here at Fenrir now, is helping people do that. But that doesn't help the fact that there is still countless people, 9 people out of 10, 99 out of 100 people that I see just driving around day to day have dogs pulling on walks. I think when I was younger, I used to watch people and it was quite common to have dogs walking lovely, and I think as the years have gone by and as decades have gone by, people have the acceptance of a dog pulling on a walk has become absolutely fine. I think a huge part of that is around the booming popularity of harnesses. I love harnesses. We love working with them. We have our own range of harnesses. If they haven't come out yet, when you're watching this, are coming out very soon. Harnesses are a wonderful tool that add an incredible amount of comfort and security to your dog, a much better way of connecting yourself with the dog, especially if you're doing any kind of sports with your dog. But to advertise them as a solution to stop pulling, I think has caused a huge influx in people having dogs that pull badly, and because it takes the pressure off a neck with a collar, I think people live with it much more comfortably. So my dog just pulls, but it's got a harness on, so it's not really hurting itself. I would love to help encourage people just to rewind that, and the joy of having a dog that walks to heel is when I give owners something, with all the behaviour modifications that come my way, when I help people, when I have people come in there, they're often in tears about how miserable it's become to walk their dog, and in one session we can turn that around and give them back a dog that walks beautifully to heel. that for me is one of the best things I can give to a dog owner, because it allows them then to go and exercise. When a dog walks nicely, it builds wonderful relationship with them, and then so much more joy with living with a dog comes off the back of being able to get out and walk with a dog that's walking nicely to heel. So when we're addressing it as a behaviour, it is often a behaviour that we'll address quite quickly, and it's often, and we kind of have levels to it, and it often depends on the owner's comfortability with things around corrections. Obviously, it's no secret I'm a balanced dog trainer, and I use all the tools in the toolbox. Hey guys, very quickly, I just wanted to ask, are you following us over on Instagram? If you're not, there's 2 accounts I would love for you to check out. The first one is our brand account, at Fenrir Canine Leaders, where you can see more about our industry-leading products that we create. If you're interested in following me personally, that's at I Am Will Atherton, where you can see behind the scenes of me working with some of the most extreme behaviour cases in the world and what it takes to run these kind of YouTube channels. And maybe if you just want to be able to come over and chat with me, that's the place for you. So there'll be links down in the description box for both of our Instagram pages. I'd love for you to come and check them out, and hopefully we'll chat over there. We've discussed on multiple occasions in these short webinars my theory on the use of physical correction, that to justify the use of a physical correction or a corrective-based tool, it has to meet one of my 3 criteria. Is the dog causing harm to somebody else? Is the dog causing harm to itself? Or is the dog causing any serious property damage? When it comes to pulling on a lead, I think that it quite comfortably ticks the first 2 boxes. In terms of it causing harm to other people, large, powerful breeds really significantly hurt their owners when they pull them. And again, I have a lot of cases where people have had serious injuries, where they've been physically pulled off their feet, people have hit their face on the floor, people have been covered in grazes, and that's been the catalyst to finally do something about it and come to me. That justifies my use of a physical correction. I also think that the dog causes themselves significant harm, especially if they're utilising a flat collar, even a harness. They cause themselves physical harm, but there's definitely a justification in terms of the emotional harm that is caused by a dog that pulls on a lead. A dog pulling on a lead is making decisions for itself. It's not looking up to you for guidance and direction. A dog that doesn't have a good leader in its life, whom it knows it can look up to for guidance and direction, will be an anxious, fearful dog. An anxious, fearful dog lives in a fight or flight response because it doesn't know what to do. It's bouncing off the walls. It's got no direction from an owner, and it has that constant state of living in anxiety and fear, and that causes significant emotional not abuse, but it causes emotional distress to the dog. And I absolutely think that addressing heel walking is a huge proponent of having a dog not live in that emotional distress, to finally remove that baggage and just go, oh, finally, yes, I can look up, you can tell me what to do. Amazing. That is, again, it's a wonderful thing to be able to hand over to an owner that has never had that with their dogs before, and having a dog walking to heel achieves that so quickly and so fantastically, which is why we put so much emphasis on it. If you've watched our rescue diaries over on our main channel, you'll see that I always get a dog tuned up walking to heel, just because of the, not even necessarily for the ability to have a dog walking to heel, but because it so quickly achieves my desired outcome of leadership and relationship, then the heel working is a bonus on top of those things. So I will often utilize different tools depending on the size of the dog and the severity of the pulling. We will use the minimum amount of physical correction required, starting from a slip lead or a slip collar through choke chains up to prong collars. Prong collar heel walk training is something that I can usually address in 15 to 20 minutes. A dog that's never utilised a prong collar, when utilised a prong collar correctly, safely and effectively by somebody with experience who knows how to implement a prong collar, can take a dog with significant pulling behaviours within 10-15 minutes to having a dog that walks beautifully to heel. It's far less physically traumatic than having a flat collar pulling on their trachea. It disperses the pressure evenly. There's so many excellent things about that prong collar. Now again, I always like to use as little corrections as possible when working with dogs, and ideally if you do it right from the get-go, you can never have to use physical corrections, and that's the process that we preach in our Perfect Puppy course. Doing it right first time round means that you never need to use one of these tools. But if you have a dog that is reactive on a walk, pulling on a walk, I can tell you that utilising a distraction-based approach with food rewards 99 times out of 100 does not work. And 9 times out of 10, when people come to me, they have already been to 3, 4, 5 plus positive-based trainers for the same behaviour as pulling on a walk, who has tried to use a distraction, luring them away approach and has never worked. They're then pulling their hair out, considering sending their dog to a shelter or giving it away or even putting it down, and I become their last-ditch effort, and they physically are moved to tears a lot of the time when they see how quickly we can tune a dog up by using a balance correction-based approach, redirecting them to the desired behaviour of walking nicely to heel. So we correct them, we redirect them to walk into heel, then we can apply the praise. When they're in that desired behaviour, then the food reward can come in, then the praise can come in. But we now have the ability to tell them what we do want, but also the ability to tell them what we don't want. So again, it's one of those topics that I could do multiple day seminars on pulling and the use of corrective-based tools. It's one of the behaviours I will often reach straight into that bag for, just because of the distress that it causes owners, because of the money that they've spent on all these different trainers that for this behaviour in particular 99 times out of 100 doesn't work, because as soon as there is something that is more alluring to the dog than the food that you have, the dog is going to ignore the food and pull towards the dogs, pull towards other people, and it becomes miserable, and that basis of distracting with food simply doesn't work. Now, it also layers on the fact that we're now bribing our dog and we're in a bribery relationship. The analogy I always use is if my son walked into the studio here with a Sharpie and started drawing on the wall, I'm not going to get a £20 note out and say, come here mate, if you stop that I'm going to give you a £20 note. I'm going to correct that behaviour. I'm going to verbally tell him, and if he doesn't stop, I will physically remove him from that behaviour, because I care about him, I love him, and I want to make sure that he can go out into this big wide world as a good human being, not a lunatic that thinks it can draw all over the walls. And my principle for dog ownership is exactly the same. I will tell you if you are doing something that is causing harm to yourself, harm to other people, or is causing significant property damage. So again, I think if more people take that approach in a fair, consistent, loving way, based on leadership and relationship, there is no need for any dog owner in the world to struggle with them pulling on walks. And we're going to do more videos around exactly how we do that. If you want to see me do that with all the rescue dogs that I volunteer at the local rescue centre for me, I do that with all the dogs I work with. You can go and check out the training channel and see that in person, me actually doing it. But with these webinars, I like to make them much more focused on mindset and theory, because I truly think that that's the most important thing. So I hope you got something from this. You do not need to struggle with your dogs pulling on walks. It's something that can be addressed very quickly, and if you don't want to do it yourself, or you think that that's a bit overwhelming, seek professional help from a balance trainer who has the skill set in utilising corrective tools to be able to address these behaviours fairly, quickly and efficiently, to get you to a point where your dog can then enjoy the world and you can enjoy living with them. I truly think that if you love dogs and you want to have that wonderful, joyous relationship with your dogs, then it's a no-brainer to get on top of this. And just like my analogy with children, we correct children, we discipline children because we love them and because we care for them. There is nothing wrong in doing the same thing with dogs, as long as we do it fairly and consistently. And that does, no questions about it, doesn't create fearful dogs. Lack of leadership, lack of guidance and direction, that creates anxious, fearful dogs. Good boundaries, rules and expectations with consequences, that creates happy dogs, because they can trust in you, that they can get their guidance and direction from you. And as long as you're being fair and consistent, that is how you get a happy dog. So again, hope you enjoyed that little quickfire webinar.
There you have it, guys. Some really useful tips and tricks that you can put into practice with your English Bulldog to stop them from pulling on the lead. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If so, get involved in the comments down below, as we would love to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell, as we have 2 dedicated videos coming here every single week. So I can't wait to see you in the next episode of the Fenrir English Bulldog Show.